Hey guys, welcome back to the Main Man's channel for another review of Peacemaker, episode 4 in season 1. So, this episode is called The Choadless Traveled. Overall, this show is it's amazing. This show is amazing. If you haven't seen my previous review where I kind of review episode 1 to 3. It's not me breaking down every single thing that happens in the show. It's just me giving my broader review of what I like about the first 3 episodes that they released on HBO Max. Of course, produced by the magnificent James Gunn. Who also produced Guardians of the Galaxy and worked for Marvel as well as DC now. So, overall, love the first 3 episodes. I think they're possibly one of the best DC shows ever produced so far. And then episode 4 just continues on with that. It basically just tells you straight up like this show is absolutely amazing. You should watch it. I do think that there's not been a show right now that has a bigger impact than Peacemaker episode 4. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot of things that happens in this episode as well. Some people are calling it the best episode so far. I'm not gonna go that far, but I do think it's definitely one of the strongest ones. I think if I were to pick an episode 3, possibly for me because so much happened. You know, the Judo Master fight, the first reveal of the butterflies, which was absolutely amazing. But there was some crazy stuff that happened in this episode as well. So what I'm gonna do is not your typical review that where I go down and break every single thing that happens. This is not a breakdown. This is just me doing a review. So I'm gonna talk about the high points in the show, as well as what I think is the low points. And spoiler alert, there's not too many low points as well. If you haven't seen the episode yet, mostly what I do spoiler, not spoiler free but spoiler irish, you could say. um so if you haven't seen the episode, highly suggest stopping the video now, watch the episode, come back, and then hear my thoughts on it. But this one I picked out the highest points of the show. I don't talk about every single thing that happens in the show. I do pick out the highest points, but what I think is the best thing that happens in the show, and then I go on with that. So basically, some of the high points in Peacemaker episode 4 to me is Chris, Peacemaker, and Vigilante. Their on-screen dynamic. Every time they're together, it's either A, it's hilarious, or B, something crazy is about to happen. It's so dramatic as well. I think James Gunn storytelling has been top notch. Especially I mean, he's always been really great, but especially in this show, people are really seeing a different side from James Gunn. I mean, some people aren't really notice. Some people didn't really notice his type of storytelling. Especially in Guardians of the Galaxy. Yes, it's a great movie, but the storytelling in it, people wasn't really watching James Gunn movies for that. They were watching it for like the action and the comedy aspect of his movies. This show is taking all that and combining it all together, and I think this is why this show is so great, because it's showing how good of a director James Gunn is. And oh my god, this show is absolutely insane. But Chris and Peacemaker, I mean Chris Peacemaker and Vigilante, their on-screen dynamic has been absolutely. It's been hilarious, funny. It's been everything. Especially for episode 3 coming off the um, coming off Vigilante getting tortured while Peacemaker just sitting there and yelling to the butterfly to keep keep doing the torturing. Chris is I mean Vigilante is a little bit pissed off from that, and you could tell because of the remarks he was making during the whole car scene as well. There was this is totally out of left field, but there was a little, I guess you could call it like collectible sitting on a dashboard, and it was I believe it was a rabbit holding like a, it looked like Mjolnir, like it looks like the hammer from Thor, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, what is that? And I was trying to figure out what it was. First thought in my head was an Easter egg for Captain Carrot, but I mean, knowing James Gunn, he would probably do that, but nobody has addressed it yet. So there's that. But it was clearly in the middle of the car for a reason. Like during it was showing it during the shot. I mean, it was enough to where if you're looking down on your screen, you could just see it, and it was bothering me because I was like, why did they put that there? You know, I mean, yes, it's his car has decorations or whatever, but I don't know. That was oddly specific placing for that as well. So there was that as well. Um, Another big thing in the show that's been absolutely nailing it for me is the whole white dragon aspect. We finally get a glimpse. First of all, when Chris, he's losing it. He's breaking down. He's breaking down. He goes into this dimensional room to get some helmets that help him out with the mission that they're on. When he goes into this dimensional room, and then first glance, you know, him just grabbing all the helmets. I mean, it's pretty badass just seeing all the helmets there. They all have different, unique looks to them, and they all have different abilities as well. Of course, they're not showing the what they could do in the show just yet, but like him just going in that room is to me just so badass. It just takes the show to a whole new level, and then actually seeing the white dragon armor just standing right there in the back of the room, and Chris looking at it, it to me it just says something. It just says something like there's a whole different aspect. It's like telling two stories in one, and just like there's the whole piece there's the whole Peacemaker white dragon aspect that we have no clue about the show later on in one of the high points that I'm going to mention, where I'm going to talk about it. But um just seeing that, and just seeing that part in the show, I was like, dude, I need to know so much more about this. I need somebody to dress up in that armor and fight Peacemaker. Like I need this to happen. Like it has to happen. Somebody needs to just dress up in that armor and fight, because first of all, I don't know too much about it, so I'm obviously I'm intrigued about it. And then the armor just looks badass, even though it is part of white supremacy, KKK, symbol you could call it. It's just the whole design of it just looks so badass, and I think if they would have added another villain onto not only that, from the butterflies, because we still don't know who's running the whole butterflies thing, and then just adding that to another aspect to it, just the whole white dragon, the white supremacy thing. I don't know. It blows my mind. But anyways, another high points in the show that keeping me intrigued is the name dropping. I feel like every episode so far has had a name drop so far from different characters that obviously is not showing up in the show, but just giving it canon, giving the show just more, um, just adding on to the show, just giving it more umph, you know. Peacemaker name first of all, Peacemaker must have went through some stuff, because he's been name dropping these characters like he's met all of them before, and I need to know more backstory about that. But he name drops Matter Eater Lad. Now, if you guys don't know, Matter Eater Lad could basically eats anything. He could create anything and eat it. So he could make um anything of any form of matter and just eat it. It actually so super dope to they actually like to name drop him in the show as well. Now I would love if these characters actually show up, but obviously we're not gonna get that. It's just more just Easter eggs, in my opinion, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I mean, I'm watching this show. I'm paying extra close attention to see if we can see like a helmet or some type of Easter egg in the show, because I feel like James Gunn would be perfect at doing that as well. But just even name dropping characters has been super intriguing for me, and I lose my cool every time they name drop a certain character. I'm like, oh my god! It just gives me hope for the universe that James Gunn is building with the DCEU, and I'm just I'm super hyped for it. I'm just super hyped for it. Um, but anyways, the old man, the neighbor. There's a neighbor. He's kind of like an, I wouldn't call him a douchebag or whatever. But he has been known for talking crap to Peacemaker and the father as well, Augie Smith. And he's been breaking Peacemaker. Just as things that he's been saying, he's calling Peacemaker villain, like he's a villain, because every time he sees Peacemaker, he always got something snarky to say to him, and he gets into an argument with Peacemaker and calls him a villain because he's like, "Who are your sidekicks?" And he's like, "Yeah, I don't really have any." And then he's like, you know, like the way you're talking to me shows me that you're really the villain, and I feel like it's little hints like that has been dropping, and it's why Peacemaker possibly might turn and actually show why he's actually a superhero. But I don't know. I don't know. The show could turn for the worse, especially what happened in episode 3, um, or episode 4 later on, which I'm gonna mention in a few. But anyways, the Sporty Cast has been absolutely great. I absolutely love Leota, John as well, the tech guy, and Hardcore Mern as well. I mean, all of them has been great, and every time they're on the screen, I've been loving every time they're together, especially when Mern and Leota are together. They've been having some. Especially when they're talking, him kind of inspiring her to do things as well. Hardcore as well has been inspiring her and actually bringing more out of her character because she's not really the most depth in the field as well. She has the less experience from more than everyone, so she's learning on the way. And of course, she's Amanda Waller's daughter, so she has a lot of she has shoes, to make up for. She has to prove herself. And I feel like this show is making her prove herself a little bit, breaking her to the point as well. And I'm loving her character as well. So there's that. Judo Master. Judo Master has been really, really intriguing, because first of all, he could kick ass. And his fight scenes that he's been in with the show has been absolutely amazing. Him kicking Peacemaker's ass and Vigilante's ass in episode 3. Him having some good shots on Peacemaker in this episode as well. I've been loving every time he's been on the screen as well. And he's just this kid. I mean, I mean, the craziest thing is we don't really know much about him. So I feel like eventually, in my opinion, and I don't know if this is gonna happen, I think eventually he's gonna turn and go um, with them to help them out. He said something that as well that really, really intrigued me in the show, and the what he said was the butterflies aren't as bad as you think they are. I mean, he could have said it differently. This is just me remembering on top of my head, but that's basically what he said, and everybody's like, "What? What is he talking about?" So there's a huge twist that happens, and then to me, besides Judo Master, probably one of the best parts in this whole show was actually James Gunn's brilliance and adding Vigilante going to prison, because Leota talks to Vigilante and is trying to get the father out of the picture because the father knows too much information. He's gonna snitch on the whole operation. So she ends up doing the worst thing she can, and actually the best thing for us. But the worst thing she can is to give Vigilante a motive into helping his best friend Peacemaker, who's going through a lot right now. His father disagrees with the helping the crew out and Amanda Waller's crew out. So she gives Vigilante a thought and trying to get him to kill the father, and then the first of all him going to jail where he grabs the trash can and throws it and breaks the window in front of the cops. Oh my god, it was so funny. I was dying laughing. Uh, but then him going into the actual prison and him sitting at the round table with the white dragon and his I don't know what you call them. I guess his followers basically, which is Augie Smith, Peacemaker's father. He sits down on the table and basically calls them out on their racism, and basically puts them on blast and pissed them off to the point they're like, "Who is this guy? And how dare he comes over here and talks to us like this?" And then there's a badass scene to where he's fighting them, and the craziest thing is that we don't know too much about Augie Smith, Peacemaker's father. We don't know too much about him, but the fact that he didn't want to fight Vigilante and show what he's capable of doing shows me that maybe there's a huge chance he gets out of prison and puts on the suit. There's a huge chance that happens because I mean, it was flat out disrespectful, and for me, it tells me, every time we seen him on screen, he looks like a guy who really don't take too much from people as well. Of course, he's racist as well, but he seems like he has a lot of temper as well, and he's messed up in the head. But he basically tells Vigilante like, "I'm not gonna fight you." Which I want to know why. I do want to know why. I want to know what he's capable of doing. So the show has been doing a great job of keeping him on the wraps, and I need to know more about him. But it just seeing Vigilante just kick all their asses. Oh my god, it was so cool, so good. I mean, he messes them up. I want to know how. I want to know how did Vigilante, like, where did he train, like, how does he know how to fight like that? I mean, I need to know more. I need more info on these guys. So there's that as well. And then there is the whole backstory from Peacemaker and Augie Smith, as what I was talking about earlier, about why Peacemaker is the way he is, and that is because there was a horrible scene where they mentioned Peacemaker has a brother, and seeing, I don't know what, because they didn't explain exactly what the brother did, but Peacemaker has to stab his own brother. I don't understand exactly what happened in that scene, particularly because they didn't really dive deep into it. They just show that Augie makes Chris kills his own brother, and it was, oh my god, it was so hard to watch, to the point to where, like, I don't really do this. I don't really like turn my head, but I had to turn my head because I was like, what the hell is happening here? Uh, it was a really hard scene to watch, as well as there was another part to where some kid, I think I don't know exactly what happened, but Chris is on the playground with this kid. Chris does something to the kid to where the kid is like freaking out. He's having a seizure or whatever. And I don't know. I had to turn my head away because I was like, okay, I can't watch that. I mean, it's crazy, man. So I mean, it just tells you the what the show does a great job of showing you uh what Peacemaker went through, man, and the way he is right now, and it's kind of hard to him. It's kind of makes it unbelievable about how, you know, the way he is right now and how he's oblivious to the fact that he don't think he's racist or whatever. When he's went through so much drama as a kid, and they only just show a little bit of it, and I don't know, it's intriguing, man. It's keeping me intrigued, loving this show as well. And then the last scene in the show was the Mern twist, where for we find out that Mern, the leader, is a butterfly. Like that was a huge twist. Didn't see that coming as well. I did say in my previous review that there was something up with him. There was something up with him because there was a scene when he was talking to John. Um, I forgot. I don't know how to say his name. Economics or whatever. But I'm just gonna call him John, the tech guy. He was like, yeah, I don't really show. I mean, I don't really have feelings. You know, I never had feelings. I was like there's something up to this character that we need to know more about, and why this particular guy is the leader. And then we find out he's a butterfly. And first of all, huge twist. What's gonna happen with that? And why is he helping this crew out, killing the butterflies? Like he's a butterfly, but he's helping the crew take down the butterfly. So I don't know. It's a huge twist, man. I didn't see that coming as well. So there's that. I mean, I kind of did see it coming. But that was my high points. Let's talk about my low points right now, and which is not really that much. But it is Peacemaker being a little bit dense, a little bit too over the top as well. I mean, I'm loving it, you know, but there's a time where I want him to be serious because in Suicide Squad movie, you know, I mean, yeah, he was always, you know, being joking, being dense in the movie and in as well as the first three episodes as well. But I want him to stop the jokes just a little bit more and get serious. I want him to be serious eventually, you know. So there's that. But I do. It's really minor, but I do want him to be serious and be the badass he was in the Suicide Squad movie. So there's that as well. The jokes as well. Some jokes, I'm gonna lie to you. There's sometimes where it was some awkward jokes and I didn't laugh. But I did see some of those. You know, I kind of wish they toned it down on the jokes just a little bit, as well as most of the characters just being dumb. You know, I mean, I feel like the whole purpose of the show is like, I mean, the whole purpose of the crew is that they were the worst from Amanda Waller's team, but I feel like, you know, her just being associated with the Amanda Waller's team should be just a little bit more smarter, just a little bit more smarter. Some of the things they did, especially in the show as well, shows that these are not the brightest guys, especially like John, the tech guy. Like he should be a little bit more smarter, cautious about what he's doing, and he's kind of dense. I'm gonna be honest with you, and most of them are as well. Some of them do have, you know, a little bit of all their senses. Hardcore Mern as well has been showing, but most of the characters on the show are a little bit dumb. To be honest with you, but it's really just minor in my opinion. But anyways, that is pretty much it. Let me know what you guys are thinking about Peacemaker. Did you guys love the first four episodes? You guys decided not to watch it. You know, really want to know more from the people who don't want to watch this thing. I mean, I need to know more because I'm like, what's stopping you guys from watching this? Is it because you didn't like the first Suicide Squad movie or what? But I highly suggest checking this out, man. I really do think it's been the best show on TV so far. And that is from Disney. That is from Disney Marvel. That is from any DC show so far. And even just regular shows in general. I do think this is the best show so far. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. That's really all my thoughts as well. But I would like to hear you guys' thoughts. But anyways, you guys have a wonderful, amazing day, and see you guys